You've got all your footage, you've backed it up, now it's time for the edit. There's lots of different types of software available, and some are available for free. One of the most important things you could take into an edit is a comprehensive log of your footage. This log is your go-to guide for what you've shot and where to find it. It's important to bin things up and log your clips before you start working on your actual cut.
Make a bin for each area of your film. Go through each clip and drop them into the bins. This will organise your footage so that you can get to it quickly.
Spending a little time up front is going to save you a lot of work clicking and faffing later on. Telling the story is the most important thing about your film, and in the edit, everything you do should be geared towards this. Start with a basic structure and only move on once you have the story right. A lot of people, when they first start editing, get excited by effects and music. Don't get carried away with this until you have your story right. Pulling the best bits of your interviews is called a sync pull. I like to do this for each of my interviewees. I then make a sync assembly of the best bits of those.
By organising your project so that you can go back to old cuts, you'll save yourself time if you need to insert a sequence you've previously edited.
Once you have the sync assembly down, you could reorder it as necessary to get a clear narrative structure. Think of the flow of the story and how it begins, progresses and builds to an end.
If you have commentary, you should include a rough version of this in your assembly to give you the structure as well as being able to write in and out of sections of your film, bridging sequences and adding to the narrative of your story. The simplest way to do this is to record it yourself.
If the length of your film isn't right or you need to cut something out, now is the time to do that before you move on to anything else.
If you know the maximum length of your film is 5 minutes and your sync assembly is 15 minutes, there's no point in painting it with sequences and music, as overall you'll be spending a lot of time making this work.
A more focused approach is to nail the sync in the structure and then start to make it look pretty.
Make a duplicate of the sync pull timeline and name this Cut 1. This will again allow you to go back if things change.
Now that you've started painting with pictures, this is your first cut, so have fun with it.
Jot down or look at the filming logs of the sequences you have in your bins and remind yourself of the content at each stage of your current timeline. Have a think about where each sequence would be most fitting and what might work over which part of the story.
Here you should think about what tone you're going for and if it's thematically correct for the stage of the story that you're at.
Think about pacing and flow of your film and make sure that you're always telling the story with the shots that you lay down.
Once you're happy with your first cut, it's time to show someone else who can offer their honest opinion. You can then make any changes before you finalise your film.